Welcome back to the news at 10. The church is praying for the country, says the Archbishop of the Diocese of Lagos, the Anglican Communion, the Most Reverend Dr. Adebola Ademowo. Against the recent backdrop of the challenging security situation in the country, he says in his message to the nation that Nigerians should be encouraged and remain united in prayers. He's also tasked the government to do more in providing security and jobs. The clergy's message comes as the Diocese of Lagos celebrates the second session of its 32nd Synod with the theme Divine Intervention.
We are all concerned about what is going on in our country. Nigeria was not like this before. It's really very disturbing. We have decided even earlier than now that we will have prayer cells in all our churches, and we have been doing that. We've been praying for this country. I believe that if not because of the prayers of the faithfuls, our situation may be more alarmingly serious than what we're experiencing at the moment. We'll continue to pray and hope for a better tomorrow. The federal government needs to do more for this country in the area of security, in the area of unemployment, because the youths, they are becoming restless, and we don't want them to take to the streets. We must continue to pray. Beyond the tunnel, there will be light, there will be hope. We know that this country, things will be back to normal. And we must not confess negatively for Nigeria. We must confess positively and hope for a better tomorrow. Joy comes in the morning.
We're going to other stories concerning security. The military says the troops operating in the north central and northwestern parts of the country have recovered cache of arms and ammunition in those areas. A statement issued by the Director, Defense Information, Major General Chris Olukolade, says that during a cordon and search operation at Aibe in local government area of Benue State, troops seized a cache of arms run by a young member of an armed group, and the 2 rifles, 3 locally fabricated pistols, and 61 rounds of special ammunition were recovered during the operation. In Plateau State, north-central Nigeria, Major Olukolade says that the cordon and search operation in 2 chiefdoms of the state has yielded the recovery of 5 guns, 3 locally fabricated pistols, and 2 revolvers from the hideouts of armed gangs at Huke and Ruenko. The military says it has also recovered some IED making materials, 45 live cartridges, various caliber of ammunition, bows and arrows, and other items such as cutlasses, axes, and diggers. And in Kaduna State, in the nation's northwest, the military says it has encountered with armed gangs and bandits at Kwandanga, during which some casualties were recorded and a lot of arms and ammunition were recovered. Well, the ban on motorcycle operations in Kaduna State may have taken effect, but more needs to be done to cushion the effects of the law. The state governor, Mokta Yero, who signed the bill into law, said the decision to stop the activities of the operators in the state capital and other parts of the state is due to the security challenges in the state, which he says are exacerbated by the motorcyclists. Our report tonight examines the impact of the ban.
Etisalat, now you're talking.
It came as a surprise to operators of motorcycle, otherwise known as okada. Many of them low-income earners Some had once taken the white-collar job, but left for one reason or the other, only to end up being okada riders. The assertion that okada people are bad is wrong, but I acknowledge the fact that it's the bad ones that are making the government think we are bad. Their services may be a useful one to the extent that commuters are moved from one location to another, but government, through their research, claim that over 90% of crime in Kaduna metropolis is linked to okada riders, and this is a reason for the ban.
This law is all about banning commercial motorcycle in some part of Kaduna State. It's not all Kaduna State. There are some key areas where trouble is envisaged. Places like Zaria, Kafanchan, Kaduna North, Kaduna South, part of Chukwu local government, Birningwari, and Igabi local government. These are the areas affected, including Saminaka local government too.
But government's action has been roundly criticized, as many believe that a ban would impact negatively on movement of people and goods.
For armed robbers, for Boko Haram members, for others who use under any guise, it is a bye-bye to them. Kaduna should hold on to it, implement it, and make sure that this doesn't resurface again. For me, that is just it.
And so many areas here that taxis does not ply. Now, you have banned these people. They are given about 14 days for these people to stop plying the streets. Within these 14 days, what is the government ready to do to assuage what is going to be the effect on the other commuters?
If it becomes absolutely necessary for them to do it, then the government should take it face by face. The government should provide an alternative before they finally do away with them.
The bill, titled Kaduna State Commercial Motorcyclist Prohibition Law, warned that any person who contravenes the ban shall be fined either the sum of 20,000 naira, 6 months imprisonment, or both, and also empowers all magistrate courts in the affected local government areas to prosecute violators of the law, including confiscation of the motorcycles. It is expected to take effect 14 days after it was signed into law, which means that a task force will be mandated by the state government to arrest any commercial motorcycle operator that violates the direction in a couple of days.
Etisalat, now you're talking.
Former Minister of Defense, retired General Theophilus Danjuma, has launched a $3 million endowment fund to support research in law and capacity building in Africa. The fund will be made available through collaboration between the Center for Comparative Law in Cape Town University, South Africa, and the Nigerian Institute of Advanced Legal Studies. Our correspondent, Okechukwu, has more.
The need to develop the African continent is the reason why these eminent guests from Nigeria and South Africa are gathered to form partnership in key areas like research on law and capacity building. The Nigerian Institute of Advanced Legal Studies and the Center for Comparative Law in Africa, located in the University of Cape Town, South Africa, are the two institutions through which this project will be achieved.
You cannot succeed if you are not training large numbers of university graduates of high quality and also doing research. If we do not want to simply become the users of other people's technology and other people's research. This academic partnership endowment is made possible through the support of the Theophilus Danjuma Funds for Law and Policy Development in Africa. He is supporting the endowment with $5 million, which is expected to be beneficial to every university in Africa.
Our donation Africa. One point we made was that the first beneficiary of the donation must be Nigeria.
He is not alone in this. Nigerian businessman Chief Olu Akinkugbe is also throwing his weight behind this project through the Olu Akinkugbe Business Law and African Fellowship.
If we're going to establish policies and laws to govern procedures within Africa, we should have enough data based on proper research.
The high point of the event was the signing of a memorandum of understanding. The project is to support research and capacity building with a focus to make an impact on every country in Africa. Ogechiku was reporting for Channels Television News.
First Bank, truly the first.
Welcome to Business News. As the World Economic Forum kicks off in Abuja, some state governments say that they're ready to showcase opportunities in their states to investors who may want to do business with them. One of such governors is the governor of Akwa Ibom State, Godswill Akpabio, who believes that the forum will open up economic integration for Africa. Governor Akpabio said that his state is planning to open a deep sea port in Ibaka to ease the traffic of containers at the Tinkan Island and Apapa ports in Lagos.
The World Economic Summit is a major step in Nigeria for us to have proper economic integration, not just in Africa, but globally. And my state is already poised to take advantage of this economic summit. You are aware that in the last 7 years, I've had the privilege of preparing the state for investment, from infrastructure to security, all sorts of things. We are trying to bring up a deep sea port, working in collaboration with Nigerian Port Authority and then, of course, the federal government in general. And we are hoping that this deep sea port, if investors should come in, will complement the efforts of the ports at Tinkan and Apapa, where sometimes we have a lot of congestion. And you are aware, sometimes we have up to 130 ships waiting to berth. Some people have had their drugs expired at the port because of the lead time of waiting to offload and all that.
Akwa Ibom State Governor Godswill Akpabio. Well, for that to happen, private sector players are urging the government to set up the country's infrastructure right to attract the right investors. Well, this is coming from the chairman of Deloitte Nigeria, Mr. Femi Abegunde, who shared his thoughts about the possible benefits of the forum to Nigeria on our flagship program, Business Morning.
House in order, we need to have infrastructure, we need to pay attention to infrastructure, we need to pay attention to power. The policies on ground are still good enough. We can improve on some things. We have NIPC. If you go to NIPC Act, which is Nigerian Investment Promotion, they have a lot of incentives there. There is a lot of tax breaks and some things that are there. In many
Well, Fidelity Bank PLC has entered into a partnership with RIA International Money Transfer to create a platform for money to be sent directly to a recipient or any account in the world as specified by the sender. Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the bank, Nnamdi Okonkwo, says that the partnership is in line with its retail banking strategy of financial inclusion. Their working relationship was formally sealed at the bank's corporate headquarters in Lagos. Our correspondent Kelvin Obaton reports.
It's a partnership between two foremost financial service providers that will afford customers more options of transfer of money directly to Fidelity account within and outside the country. The partnership stipulates that Fidelity Bank, through its network of branches, will act as receiver agent to RIA, a subsidiary of Euronet Worldwide, and a leading specialist in international money transfer. For Fidelity Bank, this is coming at the right time, and it's optimistic that the collaboration will heighten its pursuit of cashless policy.
The number of people that are excluded from the financial system, is quite huge compared with the excluded. And the central bank has been driving a program of financial inclusion Fidelity Bank buys fully into that, and this is just one of the ways in which financial services can reach more people in the rural and urban areas.
Our mission is just to grow the business on the African market, and started with the biggest one, which is Nigeria. Nigeria for us is the top priority.
The bank has also put in place a necessary technology on which this new service will be deployed.
What we will do is that we will have an interface through which that money can be transferred directly to a Fidelity Bank account or directly into Fidelity's account, where the individual who is the beneficiary can collect cash. Fidelity as a bank is ISO certified, and that is the highest system of information security that you have today in the world. It's not just in Nigeria but in the world. So there's no problem about security for the transfers.
With the real money transfer, customers of Fidelity Bank in diaspora will have 24/7 access to convenient, secure and reliable money transfer. Kelvin Obetin, Channels Television News.
More financials. It was a positive close at the Nigerian equities market on Wednesday, as key indicators sustained Tuesday's gains, rising 0.27%. Bisi Koka has more.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Reports. Midweek session of the Nigerian equities market ended upbeat as price losses by some market heavyweights, including Dangote Cement, was not enough to put a damper on the market. The all-share index grew by 0.27% to end at 38,579.39, with a higher market capitalization of 12.7 trillion naira. Market breadth was positive as 25 stocks appreciated while 21 declined. Now, Seplat Petroleum Development Company was the highest price gainer. The stock added 33 naira 13 kobo to its share price. Also among the day's gainers are Mobil and Guinness. CAP and Dangote Cement led the price laggards with losses under 1 naira each. Continental Insurance was the most actively traded equity, churning out 99.05 million units. When stocks crossed the finish line, investors had in 3,952 deals exchanged 321.98 billion shares for 3.23 billion naira. And that ends the stock market reports. I am Bisi Koka.
Thank you, Bisi. That's it on Business News. On the news at 10, Amarachi returns in just a moment.
First Bank, truly the first.
Still ahead on the news at 10, 24 schools know their opponents in the draws for the Lagos preliminaries of the Channels Kids Cup. Please stay with us.